Hello gorgeous people, welcome back to my YouTube channel, or if you're new here then welcome. I hope you're all good. Welcome back to another week, not weekly diaries, but just what I was about to say, because it is not that this week, purely because life has been thrown completely off this week, which we will get into. But we've been on such a roll with Sunday uploads that I didn't want to miss a week. So although it's not a vlog, we have got a sit down chatty this and yap with a bit of makeup, a day face, get ready with me, and also a bit of a life catch up and just a general chit chat as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Sorry it's not a weekly diaries, but they will be back next week. But there's lots to unpack in this video, so let me know if you stick around until the end. Let me know your thoughts on the things that I've asked you about, and let me show you some of my current favourite products for a daytime glam. Let's turn this music down a little. I am on my Canon camera. I'm not on my little vlog camera. I'm on my slightly bigger Canon, which is what I normally use to take my photos. But I just thought, because we're doing a sit down video and I also prefer the colouring on this camera, I would film on this. I'm drinking, by the way, a clean greens. It looks very much like a water matcha. Or like a matcha lemonade, which is my new obsession. If you haven't had the Black Sheep matcha lemonade, 10 out of 10. But no, it's a clean greens by Real, obviously, and coconut water mixed together, and a dash of lemon cordial as well, just to give it a bit more of like a sweeter taste. So I've already done my brows, obviously, like I always do. I never do them on camera because it's like just a waste of time. I've always just used the same thing, which is the Makeup Revolution brow pencil, and then I kind of switch it up between the NYX brow glue or the L'Oreal brow lamination one. Can I just say, I genuinely think next year, 2026, will be the year that we see the death of like over laminated brows, you know, like the big bushy brow lamp. Obviously skincare is already done, but I'm just going to use a bit of the Refy Face Sculpt, which is a lift and hydrate, and it's got this little tool on it, which I absolutely adore. You can kind of see it coming out there. Guys, it's been a week. It has honestly been a week. If you follow me on Instagram, then you will know by now already that unfortunately in the middle of the night on Monday night, Bumper actually relapsed and had his first seizure in a long time. It happened about 3:20 in the morning. And it's so weird because those of you that have DM'd me, I can always tell, can't I? Like I say to you all the time, like I can tell when you're part of the vlog gang, and like then you send me a message on Instagram or whatever without actually saying it. And so many of you said like, oh, it's so like weird because like last week in the vlog, like you thought he wasn't right. He's been 10 weeks completely clear of meds now. I think we thought we were in the clear, but then it's gone and happened. Long story short, because I know I've spoke about it a lot, but he has officially relapsed. He had to have this is on Monday, obviously he went to the vet's Tuesday. He was back there Wednesday for surgery, so he goes under anaesthetic to have like an MRI and also a spinal tap, which is like a rod that goes in at the back of his neck. And then also a lot of bloods like while he's under, and the plan is for him to go back on treatment. So he will go back on the steroids, and then we can start reducing the dose, and then we'll think of a plan B when it gets to like the lowest dose he can be on of what we're going to do long term, because we need to think of something a bit more viable than like steroids long term for him. But we will get there, and he's got to be okay because he's my whole world, so there's no other option. He's got to be okay. It's obviously really, really shit, and like I've not slept basically since then. We have just been a bit of an anxious, tired ball of mess this week, hence not being able to pick up the camera at all, and obviously my week got completely thrown off vlog wise. But I'm glad I've been able to sit down and do this while Bumper's like chill today. He's actually lying in the garden with my sister-in-law and Flash. So okay, let's go in with some skin. It will be no surprise that I am using the Kylie Skin Tint. I've actually stepped down to 6.5 WN. I feel like I'm losing my summer tan, and I know it's only August and I've actually got another Ibiza trip in a couple of weeks, but if you're mixed, then you will know like our summer skin and our winter skin are two completely different people. Like sometimes my skin in the winter genuinely goes like so yellow compared to like my bronzy summer self that it's almost like grey. I can't even explain it. So I've gone from a 7 to a 6.5 for now. Probably be back up to a 7 by the time I've been to Ibiza in a couple of weeks. Are you going to say hi? Come on then. Hello. Hello, are you coming to show all your patches? Come here, look. Oh, he's got one on his arm where the anaesthetic goes in, and then because he's only a chi-chi, they can't take his bloods from there, they have to take them from his neck. So he's got patches there, and then he's got one at the back of his head from where his spinal tap rod went in. So he's got 3 big patches, but he's always handsome no matter what. So it doesn't matter. Are you ready for a nap now in bed? It's a bit hot outside, isn't it? Nice and lucky, Papa. Oh, he wants to lie there. This skin tint is the world's best skin tint. Did I just say that? Did I just say that? Have I actually just made that statement? Because we all know I love it, right? But I've always been like, oh, it's as good as like the Eavesdrop by Fenty, and I also actually really like the Iconic one, to be fair. That was my top spot for a while. And then I like the Maybelline, is it Maybelline? Yeah, 24-hour stay like serum-y one. But this, Kylie, I don't know what is in this product, but there is no skin tint on the market. Like, hair is so overdue hair wash, by the way. I'm just like clinging on by doing a half up, half down. See how nice that finishes on the skin. Like I said, matte, not dewy, but it is still a skin tint. Concealer, I'm actually going to use this Natasha Denona concealer. What actually is it? High Glam concealer, and it's a brightening and hydrating concealer. Now, we'll take it up how many times just said concealer. It is a fuller coverage concealer than I would say the likes of the Arborian CC ones that I sometimes like to use, but your gal needs it today. So even though we're doing a day wear, I'm just going to show you how I would take a full coverage concealer in the day and make it still work to kind of like coincide with a skin tint. So I'm just gonna, the applicator in this is gorgeous, by the way. I'm gonna focus it right here and then a tiny little bit just here. I'm going to wet my beauty blender with the MAC Fix Plus. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's great for blending out cream product, and you just want to stay really concentrated on where the concealer is, so you're not dragging the product out too much, but you're just working it right into the skin where you actually need the brightening. And honestly, like I said, I've barely said this week, so I need it right now. Can I just say, like, having a man in your life that is the world's most calm and collected person, like, I am so blessed. I literally count my blessings every single day. Like, it is honestly like God answered my prayers with like everything that I was looking for in a man. I have been such a ball of anxiety, and I think just having someone in your life that knows how to navigate that, even just little things, like it's been just generally a stressful time, and like little things that I've needed taking care of, like booking my car in for a service and other little things like that, he's just been like, look, I'll sort that. And I have genuinely never had that before. Somebody actually relieving a bit of pressure. I'm just loving life, guys. Like, I'm in my calm, collected, don't need to worry about my relationship era. Go figure that life is already hard, and I feel like your relationship is the last thing you should ever be worried about, but I've genuinely never had that before. And it's just gorgeous. What a gorgeous little life. Because my skin has not been kind to me lately, which you all know is so out of character for my skin. But again, coming back to the whole getting my periods back thing, I'm still navigating like symptoms and breakouts for me. I mean, you've all heard me moan about my skin last week, but breakouts for me are not something I have ever in like my proper adult life had to deal with, because I've been on the pill the whole time and I've not had periods for 6 of those years. So this is all very like new, like the whole breakout thing. So anyway, just on those areas where I need the extra coverage there and there. I mean, this has calmed down now. Like last week it was so textured, like I've never seen my skin like that. I'm just going to use some of the Kylie Cosmetics concealer, let that dry down a little bit, and then just buff over it just to offer a bit more coverage in that area. I'm going to use the Fenty Beauty Truffle Oval contour stick. I absolutely love this, and I'm just going to use this. Oh, this is just for a bit more definition. Anyway, kind of along the same lines of like periods and all that, I kind of realised recently that with all of the updates that I've done with you all over the past few weeks, I haven't given an update on a really important thing, and that's because I still haven't made a decision. But I just thought, you know what, let's talk about it, because I feel like you guys are so good to talk to about this kind of stuff. So, egg freezing. That is obviously where this whole saga started. If you don't know, last year I went to get a fertility test. I was stone cold single, like obviously I didn't go near a man for like 2 years, and I thought I need to sort my shit out. I'm a 30-year-old woman, I was at the time. Now I'm 31 obviously, and I don't know if I'm fertile. Like I didn't know anything. My AMH count is uber low, like it's very low for my age. So yeah, I decided to come off the pill, and then after I've come off the pill and my cycle's regulated, which I think we're just about getting there, the plan will be to retest my AMH and then go from there. Now, egg freezing is something they started talking to me about at the clinic straight away, because they were like, look, your AMH is this low now and you don't have a partner. Obviously I didn't at the time, like, why don't we look into freezing your eggs, and then at least we are freezing them now at this AMH in case it worsens. Now obviously the only difference is that I have a man in my life now. I have a partner, and there is no doubt in my mind this man is absolutely going to be the father to my children someday. We're going to get engaged, married. I see it all for us. Like, we are life partners. Like, that is very, very, very clear. So now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, my AMH needs retesting. What do I do? I'm going to see if coming off the pill has actually made a difference, or whether it was like a true low. And then the decision needs to be made about what I'm going to do with regards to freezing my eggs. And it's a hard one because obviously it's not cheap to do. But also with an AMH count as low as mine, there are some clinics that are like, we don't even see the point in doing it. Like, you might as well just try your best for a baby and work around it if it doesn't happen. You know, there's IVF options and that kind of thing, whereas freezing your eggs at a low AMH, like, we don't want to give you false hope, because you still, like, if it was an amazing AMH, I freeze it, the eggs that they've got frozen are obviously good quality, amazing eggs with a good AMH count. So it's a bit of a rock and a hard place that I'm in at the minute, because it's like, I know that I'm probably going to have my first child before I'm 35. Obviously I'm 31 now, and do I just see? I've never fell pregnant, I've never been pregnant, I have never obviously tried for a baby. Do I just see if it happens for us and hope for the best, and then if for any reasons we have our struggles, do we then think of a plan B? Or do I freeze them anyway with a clinic that's willing to do it, even with my AMH count, and then at least I know there is like a backup if we do struggle, or like, you know, even donating those eggs should I never struggle and have my 2 babies that I so badly would love to have one day, and then I can donate them. I don't know what the answer is, and it's something I will work out along the way, and I'm sure there's some of you guys that have been through the same thing who can maybe assist with that. My boyfriend knows that I won't have children until I'm married. That's my personal opinion and my personal preference, and it's weird that I even feel that way because my mum's never been married, literally never once been married, never married my dad, never married my stepdad, who she was with for a long time after that as well. So I guess it is a bit weird that I have those views, but it's just something I feel very strongly about. And like I said, being older, you can very much voice these things from the offset with a guy that you're dating or a potential partner, because fuck me, it's important. Trust me, like, otherwise you'll be learning things about somebody like a lot later down the line, because you haven't done all the like hard conversations at the beginning. And those are things that I want. He would really absolutely love to be a dad, and so it's like, well, if you want that and I want this, and this is kind of how we have to do it, and that's how adult solid relationships go. So yeah, it's a really difficult one, because I am stuck between a rock and a hard place with knowing what to do for the best with that, with the whole egg freezing thing. But we will see. I guess that is just something that will be like a sign of the times and like how life pans out for me. I'm just going to go over the cream contour with the Fenty Caramel QT06. This is my favourite bronzer in the whole world. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous undertone if you've got a similar skin colour to mine. And then now that that concealer has pretty much dried down, the thing is, when you leave a concealer to dry down, it becomes like a lot thicker when you go to spread it. And then I'm just going to take a little tiny bit of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder, but not the one that we all know and love, in a loose form. I'm going to take the pressed powder, and that's because I just feel like you get more of a precise sort of application with it. And I'm just going to take this like fluffy-ish brush onto my chin, because these are areas that I tend to go a bit greasy throughout the day, by the side of my nose, and then also in my T-zone. I know it's a daytime face, but I am just going to add a bit of the brown eyeliner, which is Costa Riche by MAC, which you all know I am obsessed with. I just love this in my waterline so much. I honestly feel like my makeup's not complete without it, even in the day. And then I'm also just gonna rub a little bit, very messily, and then just work that in to the lashes. Just kind of like gives the effect of a winged eyeliner, but it isn't. It's a lot softer. And then I'm actually going to use the Refine mascara. This is very like hit and miss with what people think, isn't it? I think the reason why I'm not sure on this is purely because I'm so used to wearing a brown mascara on eye, and like this is switching back to black for me. But I do feel like it's very soft, as in the product application is very soft. Like, it's not at all clumpy, really picks up on your individual lashes, and I love the applicator, to be fair. Like, it's like nothing you've ever seen really from a mascara, isn't it? Do you know what, I will put a bit of cream blush on only because I love the tones of these two. I'm going to take Malaya and Rust cream blushes, both by Refi, and I'll just do a little shade comparison for you in case you haven't seen them before. But this is Malaya here, which is a very true like peachy pink, and then this is Rust here, which is gorgeous for any deeper undertones. I feel like for me my skin suits like a mix of both of these, so I just like to dab into both, if that makes sense. I'm just going to bounce these over the skin. I prefer with cream product to like work them in. Then to go over Malaya and Rust, which I've just applied by Refi, I'm going to take this disgusting awful palette. It's Afterglow by NARS, and it is my most used blush palette ever. I have rebought this so many times. It was really hard to get hold of at some point last year, but I think it's easy to get hold of again now. And I just kind of swipe between the rosy and the corally pink. I'm gonna just pop it on as a little topper because obviously the powder is way more pigmented. And then to add just a tiny bit of life into my skin, what are you doing, monkey? I'm gonna add a bit of I always forget what shade this is. Pearl Eclat by L'Oreal. It's the Lumi Le Glace sticks, and guys, these have been one of my summer most used products. Am I nearly out of that? Oh no, there's a little bit left in test up because it's so easy to do. Watch this. So it's just like glossy skin on a stick, and you just swipe it across anywhere that you would normally like put highlighter, but it doesn't have like the glitteriness of a highlighter. It's more like lip gloss for your skin. I can't really explain it. It's so good though. And for my cheeks, I tend to, rather than swipe, because sometimes it can, where you've used like cream powder, take off a bit of the product, so you just want to work it into your hand a bit more for your cheeks, and then just dab a little bit. But this, I think I've said this before, is so good for when you're in a bikini on your holes, if anyone's still got a summer holiday left to go, because look at this, straight away, and just give it a bit of a work in. Oh, it's unreal. It's so good. It's so quick and so lightweight as well, especially if you're like you're only taking hand luggage or whatever. I need help because I have got, I think I've kind of touched on this idea before, but I have got an itch that needs scratching. That's what I'm going to say. And I really miss being in like the podcast space and the subject driven content creation space, if that makes sense, because obviously when you sit down on a podcast and you talk, you have topics and things to talk about, and obviously like my vlogs will always be a thing, so that's what my YouTube's for the vlog gang. But I feel like in addition to like vlog gang Sundays, I genuinely do feel like going into like the last part of this year, I feel like I need to bring some sort of podcasty style environment to my channel. Maybe on a Wednesday, I'll see how you feel about it, but do like sit down chatty topic driven videos, and we will have topics. So it will be a huge one of mine is breakup advice, like dealing with a breakup. Isn't it funny that that's my most requested thing ever? God, says a lot about me. But even things like being in a healthy relationship, and like, you know, things that I wish I knew about relationships that I didn't know in my 20s, and you know, so from breakups to healthy relationships, and also adapting to being in a healthy relationship, because a lot of things are very much like, bloody hell, you're experiencing things for the first time. You know, how to be comfortable in your own space. I do a lot alone, and especially when I was single, I did a hell of a lot on my own, and I always will be that person. I will always be somebody that loves my own company. One of my biggest asked questions as well is like, how do I just enjoy being on my own? Like, I've been in relationships and now I'm single and I can't be on my own. Like, I get asked that a lot, and I feel like these are all things that, although I touch on very briefly in vlogs or sit down chatting makeup videos like this, I feel like they deserve their own space here on my channel, because I really miss being in the space where I'm sat behind a microphone. And you know, with Talking 30, we very much had that before that podcast came to an end, and it, you know, it won't be a sit down podcast setup. It's very chilled vibes here on the YouTube channel, as we know, but I will be sat down with a brew or whatever, and it will be like we're having a conversation. I feel like anybody who needs like solid advice and like needs to sit down talking to about X, Y and Z, that would be a good space. Now the vlogs on a Sunday will always be a thing. I feel like maybe bringing that on a Wednesday, like a topic driven video, like with a subject on a Wednesday, would be like a good way to go. Or maybe I can trial it for like 3 months in like the last quarter of the year and see how it goes. But I feel like that is very much a space that I really miss being involved in. So let me know what you guys think. For my lips, I'm going to use a new product on my actual lips, but let me just put a bit of lip liner on first. I need my sharpener. I use Guide Me lip liner by Morphe, which is basically, I'd say, the pinkier version of Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea is very brown, and sometimes in the day I feel like something a bit pinkier It's like a bit more fresher, do you know what I mean? Whereas brown is very much like nighttime. So yeah, that's kind of life at the minute. Bumper's back on treatment. I don't know what the hell I'm doing about freezing my eggs. I'm still a bit up in the air about that. My boyfriend and I are very much in talks about like what our next steps might be as, you know, a couple in their early 30s, and what we feel like would be like the best step forward for us. So that's all exciting. When I say that, what I mean is just things like, obviously we're both in our 30s, like we live apart, our like living situations have been like very unique from the get-go, because my boyfriend's actually, obviously as you all know, I live with my brother and my sister-in-law now. Before that, and before I moved down south and then did a friggin' 360 and came back, it was just me and my brother. But then obviously things changed, and I feel like what I'm about to say may sound really depressing. It's not, but just to kind of put it into perspective for you all, I feel like so many of you are going to know this anyway. You can't relate to this and you're very lucky. You're very, very, very lucky. But if you can, then I want you to know that you're not on your own. For a very long time now, lots of things over my life have made me feel like, sounds so depressing, but it's really not. Like I said, I don't belong anywhere. And more so in recent years, obviously when I moved down south and then like that all fucking went to shit. Probably the weirdest, most awful experience of my life. Like I thank God every day, thank you, that I got out of that situation. Like trust me, like there's so many ins and outs that I haven't even spoke about. Thank God that happened as well, because it led me to where I am now. But then especially like when I came back here, I really didn't feel like I belonged. And that's weird because I've got, you know, an amazing family and incredible friends, and like my mum and dad are amazing, and obviously my mum lives 4 hours in one direction, my dad lives an hour and a half in the other. Like my brother's very much got his own life. Like I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere. And I know that sounds crazy, like I'm 31, like get over yourself, but I've never really felt like I had a home since I got back here. And like obviously I do, like this is my home, like, and I love it and it's amazing, but like I'm talking about like a feeling. You know, home isn't essentially 4 walls and a roof over your head. You know, like I said, if there's some people who can relate to that, you'll know exactly what I mean. And I can only describe as when my boyfriend and I have known each other for 6 years, but since we've been together, like we were supposed to go on a date 3 years ago, it didn't work out. And like, you know, had we, like, would life have been this good for that long already? Like there's so many like shoulda, woulda, couldas, what if. I won't say meeting him, because obviously we've known each other for a long time already, but being with him has very much for me been a feeling, why do I feel emotional? Has very much been a feeling of coming home. It's very much been a feeling of feeling home. So like, you know, I'm getting emotional. I'm literally about to put my lips on and finish this whole makeup and I'm getting teary. It's been a week, guys. I've cried so much over the dog this week, and I'm on my period, so we'll just allow it. I don't really often show that much emotion, and I know when you know, you know, and quite clearly I know, quite clearly we know, everyone around us knows that this is very much it for us. But for me personally, like I have a feeling of belong, and like I said, it feels like coming home. And like, how weird does that sound? But that's exactly how it feels. We're both very much like been through it, and like I think when you've both been like successful established adults separately, and like you let your guard down after going through it, like trusting someone again is so difficult. So feeling like it's worked out finally is just an incredible place to be. And like just going back to what I was saying, like talking about like the next steps, and like obviously when you're older, like things move a little bit differently, and you know, we're not living at home with our mum and dad's, the pair of us, and we're not in our early 20s, and we're not like going around for like 5 years straight and then like, oh, let's put a deposit down on a house together. Like things aren't traditional when you're at this age. Like things haven't gone in the way that so many other people's lives have gone. Yeah, when it comes to our next steps and that kind of thing, oh, my mum's just trying to FaceTime me, and like things feel like they're unfolding in like a really natural way, and I've experienced things that haven't felt natural before, but I've just gone with it anyway because I've gone hell for leather and I felt like that was the right thing to do. Absolutely fucking wasn't, but yeah, the way everything's unfolding, the way things are working out, and like the timings of everything for us is just like harmony. Like that's the only way I can describe it. It's actually been nice because we've been able to get involved with like each other's families, and like you know, people see us as a couple and just like no. And obviously we have a hell of a lot of mutual friends anyway, and like now we've got this big group of us, and it's just like all working out, and it's so nice. Like hearing someone talk about their future with you as a part of it is pretty bloody special, and no one's ever done that with me before. So it is very much like I'm experiencing things for the first time. We both are, and it's amazing, and I cannot wait actually to see where life takes us together, because I just know we'll be old and grey one day and we will look back at how special it was. And especially these like next coming years, I feel like they're just going to be really like nice and exciting for us. That is just life and general feelings and emotions about where I'm at, and just feeling happy and content finally, and not, I saw this thing that said like, oh, my mum asked me how I'm being treated, and for the first time ever I don't have to lie. It's a dream. If you've never had that, you won't get it, but if you have like me, then it's a dream. True contentment is probably one of the most underrated feelings in the world, because when you finally have it, it literally feels euphoric. That's the only way I can describe it. But anyway, let's try this new lip oil because I got it in PR and I'm excited to try it. It is the NARS Afterglow range by NARS. That's what this blush palette is on, by the way. It's one of my faves. It's gorgeous vibes. It's very much like summer. This is the Orgasm 777 Afterglow lip oil, and look how nice that is. It's almost got like a bit of a gold reflex in it, but I feel like the colour payoff won't be too strong, which is my kind of vibe, so let's give it a go. I already know when I love a lip oil the minute it goes on my lips. Wow, how nice is that paired with the Guide Me lip liner by Morphe as well. That is so nice. I'm gonna go over my beauty spot with the brow pencil that I use. Do I want a bit of matte fix plus, or do I want some Milky Hydrating by Pixie? Let's go with Milky Hydrating, just as like a finishing mist. This helps your makeup stay so fresh. And that is my face done. All ready for a day of not really doing much other than keeping an eye on a little dog. No, I'm actually going to go to Sainsbury's today. I'm leaving the house today. Next week, I promise the vlogs will be back. The normal vlogs, not just me sat down, because I've not done anything other than been to the vets really this week and been a panicky mess outside of that. But next week is a busy ass week for me, because I'm going from North Wales to South Wales on Tuesday. So to where my mum and my family live in Penarth, just outside of Cardiff, because my cousin gets married on the 23rd of August and I need to do her makeup trial, because there's only very certain people in this world that can drag me out of bridal makeup artist retirement, and my cousin is one of them, because obviously I'm doing her makeup for her big day, like my big cousin. Like, it's going to be so special. I'm a bridesmaid as well, so I've got to get myself ready, and a couple of others too. And then Thursday I am in London for a really exciting event with Boots, so of course I'll pick up the camera and take you with me on a full weekly diaries next week. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in next Sunday's video. Bye!